Wagwan Gamers. Is that my new intro, yeah? Wagwan Gamers. God, I want to die so much. It's your boy, SUH. And we're going to talk about the next generation. Xbox actually sent me a Series X like a few weeks ago, and I want to talk about what the next generation means for racing games. I actually play games outside of racing games, but I'm really excited for the next generation of racing games, even though the ones just passed have been pretty dog shit. Now, that's not to say we didn't have many good games, because we definitely did. The Crew 1 was hands down one of my favorites of the last generation. Forza Horizon 4, again, I played loads of that until I lost my save, and Playground didn't give it me back. Oh my god, I want to die. Alright, it could be worse. They could be, you know, banning me because I'm a furry. You know, Need for Speed 2015 is another one that I really enjoyed. I know a lot of people didn't like that game and all that. But with all that being said, I genuinely believe the next generation for racing games is actually going to be really good. Both AAA and indie, I think both of them are going to really benefit from the next generation. Not only from the power, from the teraflops. I think they're really going to benefit from the next generation. So we're both going to talk about why I think the last generation kind of like failed with racing games. Failed's a bit of a strong word. Maybe just stayed a bit stagnant. And then we're going to talk about indies, and then we're going to talk about AAA games. So let's go ahead and talk about why the PlayStation 4/Xbox One generation was absolutely dog shit. Right, dog shit was a little bit harsh. It wasn't dog shit, it was just
very average.
To me anyway, there wasn't really any standout titles that when I think back to this gen, like I was like, oh yeah, that one really did something different that was never been done before and everyone loved it and it was really popular. Obviously, popularity isn't a good measure of success or how good a game is, but you get what I mean. And these are the reasons why I think that was the case. So the hardware is definitely one of those reasons. You know, having a lot of research, it doesn't really take a pro to know that rhymed. Yeah, it doesn't take a pro to know that the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One were underpowered at launch. That's why they got pro models, you know, halfway through the life cycle. I think it's one of the reasons we haven't seen such a big, like, generational leap with not just racing games, but say open world games, everything else. Popularity. Now, racing games haven't, I wouldn't say, dipped in overall popularity. Sim racing's so much bigger now than it was, you know, before. In the past. But I'm mainly more of an arcade racing gamer. And there's, yeah, I think if you are an arcade racing gamer, it's just been dry as fuck. I was thinking about this the other day. If you only own a PlayStation, the only arcade racing games you can play are The Crew and Drive Club. Oh my god, I think I'd rather kill myself. And obviously, if you're on the Xbox side, you have Forza, and you know, or /PC side, you have Forza. So that's good, but it's still not like, you know, 2005, where we had Burnout 3, Most Wanted, Underground, Tokyo Extreme Racer. I'm not gonna list them because I've listed them in previous videos. No one's making them. This is a real problem. If you think about how many companies were developing racing games in 2005 in comparison to now, it's a little bit mad. And I'm mainly talking like kind of like AAA games that, you know, actually have a bit of a publishing and a bit of backing. I'm not speaking of games like Art of Rally, Hot Shots Racing, Inertial Drift. We're going to talk about those in a minute. But there's just a lot less money in racing games now. Again, I don't know why this is. Maybe it's because cars are less desirable with this generation of people that are growing up. Maybe it's just because, you know, the big people, the big higher ups don't see the value in it, but for whatever reason there is less developers nowadays, and it is very odd actually if you sit back and think about, you know, just how much less people there is making racing games now than there was 10 years ago. And I guess that kind of ties up into my last point about the why section. Risk. It's obviously a big risk to make a AAA racing game. You know, I don't have any facts to back what I'm saying here. This might be a little bit rambly, but you know, from a fan's point of view, I can imagine making a racing game is not going to be anywhere near as lucrative as making a battle royale or making a first-person shooter. But with that being said, I actually do think that kind of variety will come back next gen, which leads me perfectly on to the next generation and why I actually think it will get better. Let's talk about the hardware. So Xbox actually sent me a Series X. Any Dirt 5 gameplay you're going to see today is on the Series X. And This is actually might be one of the best games I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Forza Horizon 4 held that for a very long time, but honestly, looking at this game on an Xbox Series X, it's just unreal. The hardware is so much better now. The possibilities are endless, and this is something which I'm really looking forward to seeing how not only the AAA developers, how they handle that, but the indie developers and how they handle that. And I want to quickly talk about indies before I talk about Codemasters, Dirt, and AAA companies. I just want to personally thank all the indies that are out there. Night Runners, I am so excited to see what you're going to come out with. It's exactly what we've all been waiting for. Art of Rally, I haven't played it yet, but when I do have some money, I am planning on buying that because it looks like an absolutely insane game. Inertial Drift, I made a video about this, and it will be linked down in the description and in a card up top. One of the most important racing games to come out this year, not only because of how different it is, and, you know, it just tries different stuff, and no one does that anymore, but, you know, the art style, the replayability, it's still a game that I play now, which is crazy because we've got so many other games to play being November. Yeah, like, if you haven't played Inertial Drift, I can 100% hand on heart recommend that game at its current price. Go buy that game, support the developers. Fucking did a cracking job. Like, applause to you lot. Hot Shots Racing is one that I recently played. I actually don't think Hot Shots Racing was actually that fantastic, but it's still an indie game. It's still got a certain level of polish, which I think is really good. And going into next gen, seeing what these indies can do with the hardware of next gen, I actually can't wait. I hope more and more of these customization-based racing games pop up from the indie scene because, you know, CarX has been doing me bits recently. Obviously, Night Runners, I mentioned previously. I just want some good street racing games to play because we haven't had any in a while. And you never know, if these games do really well, maybe the AAA companies like Need for Speed and hopefully Codemasters, if they come out with a street racing game, will actually be pretty good. Only real racing games I've enjoyed in these past few years have been F1 2020, Dirt 5, Inertial Drift, which actually might be one of the ones I enjoyed the most, and Forza Horizon 4. So when I'm speaking like this, and I'm actually like looking forward to the future for once, after having such stagnant racing games for so long, I genuinely think you should be excited too. Bring on the next generation, and let's see Wagwan. Gran Turismo 7. That is the one I'm looking most forward to next. Oh my god, give me Gran Turismo 7. Yo, PlayStation, if you want to give a brother a hookup, I'm here still. Yo, bro, I've recorded this video like 2 months ago. PlayStation still haven't picked up the phone. I would like to take this moment to thank my patrons. They're all on the screen right now. Thank you, lovely people, for keeping me alive. Yeah, your boy was out for a bit of a break, but he's back now, and we're gaming. 2020 year of the game is almost over, but 2021, you're not even ready, boys.